To my teenage sister repeatedly barging in on my 9-year-old daughter in the shower. So my 10-year-old daughter and her 2 older brothers had to stay with my parents and 17-year-old sister for a little over a month last year while my husband and I were out of town, finalizing the purchase of our new house in a different state. I could tell that my daughter was different when we were finally reunited, but she said she was fine, and I thought it was just her uncertainty about moving to a different state and changing schools. She had just begun to hit puberty right before her father, and I had to leave her and her brothers with my parents for a while. So after a rough 8 months where my father passed of COVID, and my mother went nuts and wouldn't give me space to grieve, my mother and sister finally found a place of their own and moved out of our house. To clarify, we allowed my parents and sister to live with us for a while until they could find a place of their own. Their own life choices plus the pandemic had rendered them essentially homeless. Anyway, fast forward to the beginning of last month, and I find out from my daughter during a heart-to-heart that she was really mad at my teenage sister because she was bullying her, and even choked her with a belt at one point. I asked if there was anything else she wanted to tell me, and she said that she really hated it when my sister would come in the bathroom when she was taking a shower. I asked her when that happened, and she said when she had stayed with them before we moved. She said that my sister would just come into the bathroom after she was already in the shower and pull back the curtain and look at her, and then insist on washing her hair. She said she told my sister that she could do it herself and wanted to shower alone like she did at home, but my sister essentially invalidated her feelings and told her it was no big deal because we all have the same parts. I asked her why she didn't tell someone or lock the door or something, and she said that my mother had a rule that you couldn't lock the bathroom door for safety reasons. She said she didn't tell me because she thought my mother had told my sister to go help her, and she didn't want to cause a fight between my mother and I. Sensitive girl, so I'm horrified at the invasion of her privacy and the audacity of my sister. I want to wring her neck for making my daughter feel powerless and afraid to say anything. For now, I'm just not speaking to them, but I just can't shake the feeling that this kind of behavior borders on abuse, especially when my daughter was afraid to even tell me. She said that she didn't think her grandmother would believe her about the bullying and intimidation after they all got here, and she thought that since the shower thing was in the past, if she brought it up it would just cause a fight. I feel horrible for her. I don't know how to approach it with her. I don't want to make a big deal out of it if it really doesn't bother her anymore, but I also don't want her to suppress it if it really is affecting her just so she doesn't bother anybody. She tends to be that way. Her way of dealing with issues is to hump her shoulders and act like she doesn't care. But what if she does? I do.